Game started.
Oh, two dog man. Okay. Let's see. I played d4, so let's try e4. e4, e5. And we'll get a classical opening. A Philidor defense. Okay. Takes. Yeah, that's kind of the way they play it these days. The pin by the bishop doesn't really work, so they take. And yeah, white has a little more space, but it's not such a huge deal. Maybe I'll just develop the bishop and castle quickly. And he kicks that knight. Oh, you know, this wins a pawn for him, doesn't it? Maybe I played that too quickly. So I move the knight, and then he pushes that pawn. Oh, he pushes the pawn again. I take it. It's a trade of the c pawn for the e pawn. And that opening up of the e file is not all that attractive for him, so maybe it's not a big deal. Okay, let's defend the e pawn in some way. Just so I don't have to keep worrying about that idea. And he's going to try and push forward the b pawn. So let's slow that down a little bit. That queenside expansion is one of the ideas with this pawn structure. Okay, so he took a half step. Now let's get my bishop out and target the backwards d pawn. I think that's where I want to go. And my bishop could be harassed here too. Okay, let's put the rook on the e file. More protection for that pawn. And now what? I could double on the e file here and try and maybe open it up with a move like knight to d5. Yeah, he just puts his rook there though. Okay, well, let's bring my rook to the d file. It looks like a good place for it. Well, we have one of those positions where all the pieces are on. Just one pair of pawns has been traded. It gets pretty complicated and messy. Pieces sometimes run out of space. You know, this bishop might just come back if it's not doing a whole lot here. If I want to push that e pawn forward, okay, so something like knight to d5, he takes, I take, and then it'll take him a moment to move his bishop aside, right? Move his bishop back there. The problem with the pawn on d5 is that it kind of protects his d pawn, which is something I might like to target normally. But how to make progress otherwise? Okay, and his idea is to bring his knight into g4 and threaten me that way. So let's just stop that and think about things again. Think about it again on the next move. I don't know if knight g4 was really a threat, but at least my bishop has a square to retreat to now. Because, yeah, my bishop was already defending h7. Okay, so he did nothing. Okay, let's step aside with the queen. And he steps aside with his knight. That's interesting. So if I push my pawn forward, he takes, I take. He takes, I take, right? Is there any tricks in that? And if he pushes it, then yeah, but that, you know, this kind of opening, I don't know if it helps me. It kind of dissolves the center. So option B is, let's put the knight here. He can't trade it off now, so let's do that. Ah, yeah, it's hitting this pawn and it's hitting that bishop, so this is probably a good move. Okay, so he wants to trade off my bishop. I can take here, right? I take a pawn, he moves his queen, I take a rook, he takes my bishop. Maybe I lose the knight in the corner, so I guess I should take first. Take again. Just because all these moves come with tempo, I have to keep taking, and then I can take here. And well, I pick up the exchange here, and that should be good for the endgame. But in the meantime, he still has attacking ideas here, so I have to be a bit careful. So now the pawn push would be it's not actually working, is it? And I'll grab here. I kind of want the bishop clear of the d file anyway, so I can lift up those rooks. Yeah, I was going to pin his knight, but he moved it. Okay, so let's kick that knight before it causes too much trouble. I don't see it has great squares to go to. It could come here to b3, but where else is it going? It can't come here. It could go to c2. Knight c2, rook e2. Then where does it go? Over to a3. No, that's not a square. Yeah, so it's trapped on c2, and so it has to go back. And then my idea was to play this. Pin that knight. Maybe double on the d file is the next step. So he starts to protect that. Okay, let's hit the queen. Where is that queen going anyway? And take up this nice square here. So now I can push this pawn forward. No, I can't. Now I can't push the pawn forward. He was ready for that one. Okay, I can take the bishop off. And let's see. I guess I want to defend that pawn. It is an extra pawn. Okay, so he's starting to get active with his rook. I mean, with his knight. It's a good plan for white. So let's think about this. Black. Black is going to come over here and then come down here to checkmate me with his queen. That's an idea. If I play queen d2, e2. If I play queen e2, he can still play queen to h4, defending. And then if I move my king. Okay, so let's kick the knight right away, so he doesn't have time to move his queen. You got to respect those threats. He can. He was also hitting this pawn over here, but he has to move the knight now. I think that doesn't go with check or anything. This guy has beaten me before. I know he's pretty resourceful, so got to be careful all the time. Well, that's why you need to have good opponents from time to time. They test your ability to stay alert. In spite of his rating, I mean, he's often lower rated than me, but he's often beating me too. Okay, back there, and I still want to pile up on the on the backwards d pawn. I still think that's an idea here, but just got to kind of arrange it step by step. I wanted to move my queen off the back rank and put the rook over here to the d file. I could also consider pushing the b pawn forward. Yeah, maybe I leave the center alone and just start pushing the queenside pawns. And I think, yeah, black is having trouble finding a plan. Oh, no, that's a plan. Now his knight comes into f4, hitting my queen. Okay, so where am I going after knight f4? Maybe I'll go here in advance. Put the queen here. Looking at the d pawn, looking at the f4 square, still protecting over here. He's looking at my rook. He's abandoning that d pawn, but his knight could hop into here, which would be annoying if I get too far afield. So let's leave things the same over here and start pushing the queen side. Because I don't think his knight f4 move doesn't come with a tempo now because I moved my queen. It's hitting g2, but his queen is not attacking g2, and my queen is defending in any case. From f4, then I could go to h3 if there was a pin here. So, okay, he's going that way. Ah, he can go to this square. That's true. So if he goes to, let's see, is that the only idea here? Yeah, I think that's the idea. If he goes to c4, I can play queen to back to e2. See, I could take this pawn right now, though. See if I don't get mated, or if he doesn't get some kind of perpetual. I can take this pawn right now, and it hits the rook and the knight. Looks
Server
like
announcement.
it should be good for something. I mean, the rook goes with check, so it seems like he has to deal with that. He can play rook to e8. Yeah, he did. And now, can't I take here and just, oh, he gets a fork. He didn't take it. He had a fork. Okay, so now he wants to, he had a different idea. He wanted to grab this pawn using the pin. And I want to trade queens. I still would have been winning after that fork because I have these passed pawns here, but no point in giving him chances like that. Okay, let's see. If I kick the knight here and hit the queen, can I force some kind of exchange? If he doesn't trade queens, I'll take his knight.
Check.
If the knight moves, I'll take his queen. So he trades queens, and now he can get active with his knight. So let's go to a square where the knight doesn't hit it. And now I should be with the rook. 2 rooks versus rook and knight plus 3 extra pawns. This should be a winning endgame, even with a tricky player. Okay, so push that pawn forward. Okay, he goes there, hitting the rook. Here, hitting the knight. There. Okay, he's hitting this pawn. Let's defend that pawn. Let's push this pawn. Yeah, he's setting up for a blockade. Let's kick the knight. You can attack this pawn now. So, once again, let's defend the pawn. I could take the other pawn. This is annoying. Let's kick the knight. Knights are just tricky to deal with, especially in a Blitz game where you have limited time. They're just tricky. So he's back there. So let's bring this rook forward. How about this? Hit that knight. Okay, so now this pawn comes forward. Knight can come here to hit this rook. Just takes it. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's double my rooks and see if I can find a way to checkmate his king.
Black resigns.
Okay, good game. I'll upload this and do a post-mortem. See you guys later. Bye.